What's up? It's Garson. So let's talk about Divine Strike. And I get these ideas from you guys every once in a while in chat, and comments on the stream, and so on and so forth. So one of the things I hear a lot is, how do I make a cleric that doesn't use Spirit Guardians? Or isn't it just like a caster class that kind of heals and dedicated healer? No. I love clerics, especially because I'm a bit of obsessed with this move, Divine Strike. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about battle clerics. And you'll even get some examples that don't use Spirit Guardians, okay? So let's bust out the notes. Big thank you, first and foremost, always thank you guys for watching. You guys are the reason the channel exists. We'll talk more about it at the end, so thank you very much. But Divine Strike. So clerics that don't use Spirit Guardians, let's do some timestamps here and 2 examples. This is not a build video, but if you're interested, let me know, and I might make dedicated build videos for you guys. So Divine Strike, if you're not aware of it, what makes it pretty awesome is it's sort of like a mini smite. You can get it out of a reaction, or you can get a manual strike. Of course, if you do the manual strike, can't use other things. So say I wanted a Booming Blade, I can still Divine Strike and Booming Blade. I can Smite and Divine Strike, if I could somehow fit it on the same character. But at level 8, it kind of limits what we can multi-class. And if you notice, why does 6 out of 8 cleric domains get a martial weapon, like ranged melee weapon option, like a bonus to that? So 2 of the domains get potent cantrips. It upgrades the damage to their cantrips, whereas most clerics are getting some kind of incentive for going with weapons. So yeah, it's 1d8 damage. It's like a mini smite. Like I said, it's a manual or reaction. The cool thing is it doesn't cost anything. It's just a class action, weapon action thing. And actually there's a trick to doing 2 of these in the same turn. As long as you can attack twice in a turn, you can do a manual action Divine Strike with your weapon. And then you have another attack, you can actually ride the reaction Divine Strike on top of that attack. So there's a few ways to achieve extra attack. Obviously, we can't get it with 8 levels. I can't multi-class it to fighter, right? Well, hold on there. So why, in the first place, does a caster even get these weapon bonuses instead of all of them getting potent cantrips? I don't know the answer. I just play a lot of honor mode, bro. Stream it, play it, talk to you guys about it. And I don't play tabletop. I haven't talked to the devs of D&D, 5e, all that stuff that inspired this, so I don't know. But what I do know is I love battle clerics. I love characters that use spellcasting and weapons in general. They're called gishes, they're called battle mages, they're called spellblades. I love that archetype. So any class really can be martial, a weapon user. There's a few methods, though. The obvious is multi-class to go get extra attack, but we can't do that. Well, did you know you can multi-class, or not multi-class, but you could dual wield, right? So let me bounce back over here. So my death domain, I have no extra attack on this character, but I do have 2 weapons. I can attack with my action on my main attack weapon, my main hand attack, and then my offhand uses a bonus action. I can do a lot of damage with that. Hey, look, I didn't need 2 weapon fighting style. I didn't need all this stuff. I can still effectively attack twice with dual wield. Hey, that's pretty great. So on the war cleric, I don't have any multi-class here whatsoever, but I can attack twice in a few different ways, one of which is Polearm Master, where as long as you have like a halberd or a glaive or even a quarterstaff, you can attack twice. It's a little bit weaker, but it gives you a little bonus action, reaction attack. And that's pretty cool because that means we can Divine Strike and then we can reaction Divine Strike. And now, thanks to patch 8 update, we can get great weapon master damage on that. So it's actually worthwhile to get that, especially with the Divine Strike. There's even offhand builds. So again, going back to dual wield, but maybe you took Thief and have a second bonus action. So you're going to cast a cantrip with your action, and your 2 bonus actions from Thief, you're going to maybe use 2 offhand attacks. You can see where I'm going with this. There's a lot of ways. Another good way is haste and speed potions, but haste is pretty reliable. You'll have to spend your concentration on it. Not every class gets this. But again, clerics that don't use Spirit Guardians, okay, I'm getting there. The point is, there's a lot of clues in the class and the domains themselves. For instance, this class right here, War Domain, has martial weapon proficiency. I don't have to go into a multi-class. I have access to any type of weapons, including halberds, so I can use Polearm Master. I even get heavy armor, so that's a big clue, like you're allowed to go in the front line because you're going to get pretty nice armor class as a base. There's Touch of Death on Death Domain. I love Death Domain because I treat Touch of Death like it's a big smite, and I treat the Divine Strike like a mini smite, and you can combo these together, right? So that's pretty amazing. So Touch of Death on Death Domain feels great. It's only usable in the melee range, spells, or weapon attacks, but this is a big hit the more you invest in Death Domain. Thunderbolt Strike. So On Tempest Domain, if you do any thunder damage, you can send people flying at level 6 Tempest Domain. So once you get your Divine Strike Thunder, you can send people flying when you hit them with it. That's freaking great. War Priest charges are a pretty obvious one, right? There's a clue here that maybe you should be using weapon attacks every now and then, but they're limited. Okay, I get that. Guided Strike. Hey, your Channel Divinity helps you and your allies land 10 more to their accuracy, to their attack roll. So that's like, yeah, okay. So Divine Strike itself, as I said, is on most of these domains, and it is a big clue that you can make really awesome battle clerics. So let's look at 2 examples. Like I said, this isn't a build video. You can request that of me if enough of you guys want. I can make a very dry, detailed write-up, and maybe I'll make it an unlisted video. Maybe I'll make it a members video. But either way, War Domain, as I said, gives us a heavy armor and martial weapon proficiencies. We don't need to dip fighter or paladin or ranger. We have everything we need. We could even just stay all 12 levels. It may not be the best character, but it's still awesome that it's achievable, and it still is very, very much effective, even in honor mode runs, to run a guy like this. I love this type of character. So this is more of an enhancer caster. If you just saw my paladin quick guide for devotion paladin, very same principle. I actually don't have a lot of wisdom here, but I have plenty of strength from the elixir. I have constitution, so I can concentrate on bless. I have a little bit of dex for whatever bonus there, right? But I can just focus on casting bless, and I have free movement because I'm not really using my spell slots, so maybe I'll use the free movement spell to give me and my teammates I can't be paralyzed, and I ignore difficult terrain. There's also the guided strike, so every short rest I'll have a couple channel divinities to really make sure that important strike, whether me or my allies, can get a +10 bonus to accuracy. Then there's just sanctuary and healing word. I can save my allies because this has nothing to do with wisdom. It will always do this little bit of healing, and sanctuary will always save somebody's life with a bonus action, no less. So I can use my attacks and still help my allies. That's pretty awesome, and there's no multi-classing, and I still have a very robust frontline character. Otherwise, I'm just a frontline attacker. Like I said, I have Divine Strike on the main action, and then either with Polearm Master, or maybe I get a crit, I get Great Weapon Master attack, or maybe I use my limited War Priest. I can get extra attacks in a variety of different ways. Hell, I even have Spirit Buddy, so I can get another attack in by summoning this Spirit Weapon. I don't know how useful it is. I don't usually use it, but it's kind of cool. And you can focus in on it since you're not really a wisdom outright spellcaster. And then there's extra attack. Like I said, the few different methods. I'm not going to repeat myself too much here. So yeah, there's different ways to get extra attack, which means I do the manual Divine Strike, and on that bonus attack, I will get a nice extra 1d8 again from the reaction Divine Strike. And again, I'm going to keep slamming it at home, but there is no multi-classing whatsoever here. And there's some other great features I could go on and on about with this cool little build here. What about Death Domain? All right, to be fair, you can actually, I made this so you can do every Death Domain thing I like, including Spirit Guardians, but let's pretend you can't. So let's just pretend Spirit Guardians isn't here. So we get medium armor from Clerics, but we also get martial weapon proficiency from Death Domain. Your first clue that, hey, I could make this guy a mostly dedicated strength or dexterity weapon user. And there is a Gish playstyle on this build, for instance. I can use 2 attacks, my main hand, my offhand. I'm getting 2 Divine Strikes, like I said. I can also, thanks to Reaper, I can attack 2 people, 2 separate targets with both Bone Chill and Toll the Dead cantrips. I can really blow somebody up with Inflict Wounds and upcast it to 8d10, and this thing can crit, so that's awesome. And I can smite. So Divine Strike I always feel like is a mini smite, and then I can smite with my Channel Divinity with Touch of Death. I just click this on, the next thing I hit blows up. Cool. I love Death Domain. And I love building it this way because I can effectively have extra attack. I could build it Polearm Master. I could do the dual wielding and whatnot. But the reason I will go at least 8 levels is not only am I going to get Divine Strike, which clued me in, hey, I could get some extra weapon damage here, bro. But also Death Touch is better the more you invest your Cleric. So there's a lot of incentive there to not multi-class it. And in fact, I don't even need the little Spore Druid here. It's just for the aura. All right, to be fair, it's just because it looks cool. So I'll give up a little damage to look cool. Hey, all right, I'm not really concerned with 2-weapon fighting style either, so I don't feel the need to go get that because you can see that I can get a lot of necrotic damage on my offhand strike, which wouldn't benefit at all from that fighting style. So as long as I can land the offhand hit, I'm getting 2 reliable hits. Both of them can be a smite thanks to Death Touch and the additional Divine Strike damage. That's why I love Divine Strike. I have a lot of necrotic damage from the gloves, the Divine Strikes, the Touch of Death, the Spore Druid multi-class. But again, I didn't even need this, and sometimes you don't even have it. So again, yes, I built this with Spirit Guardians, but I don't even need to use this. It just makes it that much more powerful of a build and that Spellblade kind of like Battle Cleric mix. So like I said with the other 4 domains, Trickery gets Poison Divine Strike at level 8. Tempest does get Thunder Divine Strike, and you can push people with it at level 6. So that's a nice little combo in that subclass. Nature gets Fire, Ice, and Lightning, and I built a really cool Ice Knight using 8 levels of Cleric, and then I use Wizard. 1 level of Wizard allowed me to be a full Wizard because Cleric Wizard is an awesome combo. But I used the Cleric to end up giving me the Divine Strike and the martial properties, the heavy armor and all that stuff, right? And Life Cleric gives you a mini smite, literally a 1d8 Radiant Divine Strike. So all of these guys give you a really cool tool to make your Battle Cleric, right? And that's kind of pretty much covers it. You guys are my sponsor, and I really appreciate it if you made it to this end of the video. Hopefully, it's inspired you to go out and play a Battle Cleric, think of Cleric in a different way, maybe respect how cool this move really is and what you could do with it. I do have other videos, maybe fun topics to just talk about, but I have other build videos or guides if you want to check those out, maybe on the top left and right here. But also some full Honor Run playlist. I don't have a lot of footage in this video because I just play these things for you guys on stream in Honor Run, try and inspire you to play whatever character you want, not the most popular stuff, but actually any old thing you can create. As long as you understand the kit of your class, you can build really cool characters. So come join this live stream. I'm on YouTube and Twitch. I dual stream to make it convenient for you guys. Otherwise, those who support the channel, a big shout out to you. Thank you for the member support. It's $1 a month on YouTube. And so I try to give back with a little bit of clips, some fun build demos, like a catalog of just quick little like ideas in my head. Hey, try this, or I've run this before, it's really cool. And then sometimes I do addendums to my videos, especially the guide videos. But either way, regardless, your support watching this far is enough. I appreciate you guys. Go play a Battle Cleric and use the Divine Strike and kick honor modes butt.